Mr. Datta, let me just, lengthen the argument or widen the scope of the discussion from what Rima has been speaking about. Let me just read out the Q2 numbers of all the airlines, and you can see the sharp EBITDA cuts. And comparing it to Q2 of FY11, the Q2 FY12, for instance, of Jet, EBITDA gains of 100 crore last year. This year it is an EBITDA loss of 219 crores. Jet Light was a loss of 41 crores last year, second quarter. This time it's a loss of 113 crores. The overall Jet, of course, obviously the losses have increased. And then similar losses, if you looked at SpiceJet, it was 21 crore losses at an EBITDA level, and now that has grown to 232 crores. Kingfisher, of course, the losses are much more. I need hardly document that. Is there something wider than just the ATF price? I mean, if all the airlines, and Air India, of course, would top the list, are reporting higher EBITDA losses, is it only ATF that you would find fault with?
No, certainly not. Or fuel prices or ATF prices is only one element out of that, out of all the things that have harmed the airlines. The downward slide of the rupee over these last few weeks and months has impacted very heavily on airlines like Jet, because we earn a significant part of our revenues, but a cost element, an enormous amount of the money that we have to spend, whether it's loans, rentals, aircraft lease rentals, etc., are payable in foreign currency, in dollars. So inevitably the cost elements because of that have also gone up. There are many airports. You look at the new Mumbai airport, partly finished, but it's still improved quite a lot. Many of Delhi, Terminal 3, Bangalore, Hyderabad, all of them have levied additional charges. And these costs are, yes, we have tried to, meaning the airline industry has tried to pass on to the consumer, but you can't, you've got to accept the fact that these can't be passed on to in full to the consumer. It will have an impact sooner or later. But the most important part of it is that the airlines, unfortunately, I believe, have played a pure market share game. And to improve their market shares, they have lowered fares, and in order to keep pace with the so-called low-cost carriers, Indigos and SpiceJets of this world, and many others, and Jetlight also, of course.
Right.
All of us have reduced fares in order to get a market share. The yields have dropped, and the yields therefore are nowhere near making up for the costs of operation. I believe this probably is the only industry that I know of which does the pricing not on the basis of the cost it incurs. It does the pricing on the basis of what the competitor is charging, what the market share will be.
Right.
Now, behind it, all of us argue that the market in India is growing very fast. The market has grown 18-20%. That is because the fares have gone down. All of us have put in additional capacity. Again, to fill that capacity, we go on charging and lowering fares. It's a game which I believe none of us can win. And the result is a widening of the difference between the costs that we are required to incur to run an airline and the revenues that we can earn in the process. And I submit, until the fares are rationalized in some form, the airlines themselves will have to do that. But we have another impediment now. Government directs us, you can't charge more than this, you can't lower more than this. Because Kingfisher is not cancelled flights, you can't increase your fares.
Well, but actually fares have gone up, sir. Actually, the exit of Kingfisher Airlines from some routes has led to about 20% increase in fares in some places. Do you think this enforced, market correction will help?
Yes. No, but please let me say, on some routes, Has it happened significantly every route? Ultimately, those some routes don't form the bulk of the traffic that we carry. Airlines carry. I mean, it is supposed to be a deregulated industry. How can the government then direct us not to charge fares? If we don't charge fares at times when the market is prepared to pay it, how do we lower fares at other times? It's not an industry, a free industry. It is no longer deregulated. On the other hand, I mean, in my last few months in fact, last couple of years, all I have done, I mean, not all, that's not literally true, but one of my principal preoccupations have been answering questions to the Competition Commission of India. Why did you increase fares? Why was fuel surcharge not lowered, and so on and so forth? Which is you're not allowing market to play its role when you have deregulated the market. Yes, if some people can't fly because the fares have become high, so be it. You have to accept it.
So what will get them out of this loss-making situation? Will imported direct fuel help in such a case, or will it be to say that I'm not going to be providing pan-India connectivity, I will opt out of these non-profitable airlines? What can the government do in order to help these airline companies now in a realistic way?
Well, fuel, as you said, direct import will be a very good proposition which the government should encourage. The problem is, there was an opportunity a few years back when we thought we could import, but the only supply possibility was the three, government-owned oil companies. They levied a charge. We brought the pipeline. At the supply point of view, I made it equal with what Indian Oil BPL supply doing. Now, if that is the sort of rule that's going to be applied, then what's the purpose of importing fuel? So all of us stopped even proceeding on that basis. There has to be space provided at the airports for us to, if we import fuel, to store fuel there and to supply fuel from the pipelines and from the, fuel supply points. All of those sorts of things, they will help certainly. But then again, a second one, all of us, I can fully understand the government's rationale for the route dispersal guidelines. The northeast and the states which are not properly served to be served, but in the process, because it's related to Category 1 route operations, that is the Bombay, Delhi, Bangalore and so on, inevitably any expansion that takes place, because the biggest expansion of growth in the market takes place in those prime routes.
Point taken, sir.
Results in an increase in the market in the operations that you require to undertake on the Category 2 routes.
Point taken.
And there is excess capacity there, much more than the market warrants. Costs are incurred, losses are incurred by all of us. Therefore, there has to be a rationalization of all these sorts of things. I mean, why can't the government think of what is the market requirement? And
so your point is taken. We are running out of time. Thank you very much, Mr. Datta, for joining us and putting forth the views of the airline companies.